Chuck.
I'm Bill.
And today we're talking about our recent trip to Tennessee to sell one of Bill's Holy Grail cards. This was a huge sale, and we're going to talk about that, talk about our trip down to Tennessee at a local card store, our experience with it, and a little bit of an aftermath for it. This episode is also going to be paired with a YouTube video. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will see some videos pop up here and there. If you're just listening to the podcast version, you're going to hear the video, but I would highly recommend you subscribe to the YouTube channel to watch the video clips that we have. Just kind of like a little clips that we took from our trip and a little thing that happened after the trip. You'll see that live as well on our YouTube. So again, this one's more geared towards the YouTube, but you can still hear you can still listen here on the Podbean or wherever you're listening to the podcast on and still get pretty much the same thing. So let's just jump right into it. So Bill, do you want to tell us a little bit about why we went to Tennessee?
Yeah, it was kind of a very oddball experience. I mean, even how it all went down. So just to kind of give all the speakers some background knowledge of what all took place. So my wife and I were currently looking to, move out of our home and purchase a bigger home. At this point, we have a lot of equity into our home. We have a lot of savings. And, to really get that dream home that we wanted, we knew we needed just a little bit more, liquid cash in our account. We had been tossing back and forth, possibly building a home, which, when you go the building route, which we haven't fully ruled out just yet, you have to front a lot of cash immediately within 30 days, actually. And so, at the point that I was in, we didn't have that option. So we wanted to really keep our options open. And as most of you are probably already realizing, the card market has just been skyrocketing. And specifically with the world record holder, with the largest purchase sale of any sports card recently happening, I believe it took place sometime in January, maybe the beginning of February, was a PSA 9 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle that sold for $5.2 million. So keep in mind, that was a PSA 9. I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to make a huge acquisition over the summer. I sold off a lot of my stuff. A lot of people are like, what did you pay for that card? And when I tell them, they're like, why would you spend that much money? It really wasn't that way. I guess if you look at it, I sold off and traded away a lot of bigger cards that I had in my collection that, trust me, I did not pay a premium for. I had just been holding on to them for a little while in order to purchase my own very nice copy. I'll let Chuck kind of elaborate on how nice this copy was. But my copy of the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle was a 2.5. And you're going to be able to see that a little bit in some of our footage of the trip on our way to Nashville. So just to kind of go through the beginning part, and then Chuck, I'll let you kind of dial in on the experience itself. So, I came to this milestone where I wanted to sell the card so that, our family had money to move forward if we chose to build a home or, just a little bit more freedom from, debts and things like that. And other possibilities for buying homes. So I had been shopping around the card for quite some time. I had a couple offers, in the $70,000 range, the $60,000 range, the $50,000 range. Had quite a few different offers there. But the bigger problem was At the time, the travel ban was still in place. So, Chuck and I couldn't really leave the state, or, I couldn't really do that. So I was really hoping that the people who were interested in paying the most would be willing to travel to me. Well, once the travel ban got lifted, I started being able to kind of open myself up to negotiations with a few people. I talked on the phone, consistently with this one guy who lives in Florida. He was supposed to fly up here. We were going to do actually an all cash offer for a really nice lump sum. And we went back and forth, and not that he isn't a reputable player in the game. It's just he was kind of dragging his feet. And I knew if we were going to be closing on building on a home, like we were still kind of going back and forth. We're still in the process of thinking about whether we want to do that or not. But time was kind of the essence, because as soon as you sign that dotted line, you have 30 days to come up with a large chunk of cash. And so I just put it out to a company that I've known since 2016. I just found them on Facebook once. I was looking for like live breaks, live shows. And that company is called Grand Slam Collectibles out of Nashville, Tennessee. And the big character there is Nate Burns. He actually has his own card. If you go and you buy up boxes of 2018,
Allen and Ginter.
Allen and Ginter, yeah, he's located in there. You might even pull an auto of him, even though I had an auto with a really nice check number next to it too. On check auto. So I put it out to him, and we went back and forth. It kind of seemed like at first I was talking to some of his employees, some of his workers. They were emailing me back and forth. They kept saying, we're going to pass at this time, on the prices. But in the back of my mind, I knew that, the 52 Topps Mantle, after that $5.2 million sale, with it being now the most valuable sports card in the world, that it was just a matter of time before all of the lower grades just kept trickling up. And like I told Chuck and emphasized to Chuck, and you'll all get to see on your own, my example of it is borderline a flawless example. And there's not too many of those left out there. The ones that you can find on eBay have paper missing. They look beat up, like they've been thrown in bike spokes, things like that. Mine was pretty nice. I had about 2 sharp corners out of 4. One small, tiny, insignificant wrinkle on the mix hat that you really couldn't notice. And the coloring on the card was just phenomenal. So finally, I got this text message. This is where I'm about to pass it off to you, Chuck. So I got this text message on a Friday night. So real late on Friday, I got this text message, and it was real cryptic. It said, is your 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle still for sale? And of course, I'm about ready to go to bed. I'm like, yeah, who is this? Sorry, who is this? And he goes, it's Nate Burns from Grand Slam Collectibles. Now here's the thing. Nate Burns in the collectible industry, especially for like newcomers and beginners, and really all ranges of hobbyists right now, he's pretty much a well-known name in the hobby at this point. He's pushing $15 million a year in sales. To me, that's not some small change when you're talking about a hobby. You know what I mean? So I got a text message from him. He threw a price out at me that he was comfortable paying. And I knew I wasn't fully on board with that, but bird in the hand, I kept talking to Chuck about that. You never turn away like a good deal. So I told him that, I would accept his cash offer, but he would need to throw a nice chunk of like store credit or trade in on top of all the cash. And so, I was just waiting. I saw the bubbles clicking, and he goes, you got it, deal. And I was kind of surprised, because not only am I getting all of this money, but I was getting a really large, we're talking thousands of dollars in like store credit.
And we're not going to necessarily disclose the amount, but it was a lot.
Yeah. The cash value, I still got it was a very nice lump sum. But on top of that, getting the store credit was just like the cherry on top. because in my mind, I'm thinking, and I told Chuck this too, I'm going to find something that I can buy from him that I can sit on and actually grow equity and interest in myself. So we agreed on those terms, and I told him, my only hiccup is I'm trying to figure out how I can get out there, because at the time I didn't even think about flying or anything like that. And he goes, do you have an airport near your house? I go, yeah, like 30 minutes. He goes, can you fly out next week? And I said, yeah, probably Saturday. I teach all week and coach a track team. So he goes, all right, well, give me all your information. I'm going to book you a flight right now. So I literally just gave him all my information. He booked my flight, sent me the confirmation, sent everything. And we were set to fly out at real early in the morning, landing super early in the morning, and flying home a little bit later that day. So, fast forward, all of this is going down late Friday night, a very unexpected transaction. And we agreed on, half cash and half check, which, in my mind, I'm going to let Chuck emphasize this in a moment, but we were trying to figure out how we're going to get all this cash through TSA at the airport without getting frisked.
Yeah, well, let's keep in mind that, like, all of a sudden I get like this text a text message from Bill, and he's like, hey, can you call? And so I call him, and next thing you know, he goes, hey, what are you doing next Saturday? And this was like the week before we left. And I was like, I don't think anything. Why? He's like, do you want to go to Nashville? And I was like, oh my God. It's like, so yeah, I was like, for what? And then obviously he told me the full story. But yeah, that was the big thing, was like, cause we got to bring all this money out.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny was Chuck,
I should say.
Yeah. And Chuck, I still think one of my favorite parts is after you signed up to come with me on the trip, whenever I saw you in school, the next day, I remember telling you, so make sure you have some room in your backpack, because we're going to divvy up the cash. And you're going to put some of it in your backpack too. And I saw your eyes wait, what?
Yeah. I thought Bill was just going to take all the cash and I was just going to come for the ride, but no, I'm becoming this little pack mule for Bill. And I was like, oh, great. But I mean, it's also a smart play, because, again, when you're carrying that much cash with you, you want to have, you don't want to, if one of us got mugged or one of us lost a bag, which thankfully that didn't happen, at least, it's divvied up, you're not losing everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you want to kind of recap, once we got there?
Yeah. So, basically, so we had to wake up really early. I had to be at Bill's house by 4 o'clock in the morning. And we get there, plane left about 6:15. And so the first thing we do is we got to catch we're catching an Uber to the Grand Slam collectibles. I had a little Kevin McAllister moment. I was trying to get all my stuff out of my bag, my camera and stuff. And Bill's running off. I'm like, wait.
That was great.
But we get in the Uber, and then this is all happening within from 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning to about 8 or 9, and we get to Grand Slam collectibles about what was it, 7 or 8?
Yeah, right around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock, and his store doesn't even open until about 10 a.m. And so we're in his store. He was a little suspicious of me at first, because I went off to the side before entering the store, and Bill had to tell him no, I'm with him. And then we came in, and everyone just kind of started talking. Now, actually, this is the first time I've seen a mantle in real life, in person. And when Bill showed it to me for the first time, I looked at it in the airport. It was definitely, first thing I said was how was this a 2.5?
Yeah.
It was when Bill says, and you'll see, I'm going to throw a little clip of it up here. When Bill says it looked really good, I mean, it really did look good. Even I was like, dang. And I was like, man, I wish I had one of those. Those are pretty sweet. But we get to the guy's store. We get to Grand Slam Collectibles. Bill, Nate, and I were all just kind of talking and everything. And then the transaction happened, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. We counted the money out. We got the check. We double checked everything. We gave him the card. He did a little live video of it. And you actually, if you go to his Facebook page, you can probably still see that video of us.
Yeah. We'll have to try to implement some of that. See if we can.
Yeah, I'll throw it in right here and then we can watch that right now.
What's going on, folks? We had a customer fly in this morning. We flew him in from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, PA, baby. Had him come in, no hassle. Got his payment. Going to do a little bit of trading on the last little bit of it. But we wanted to go live and show y'all. That's the second one we have now. We have the SGC 3 and we have the PSA 2.5. But this card to us was just graded recently, but to us looks way better than a 2.5. But that's just us. I mean, come on. I just want you to enjoy it, whoever's up. And then even the back you'd think the back was missing a hunk or something, but they're like, yeah, flip it over. It's going to have a big hunk on the back missing. Nope. False.
Even the corners, you'll find two corners that are pretty nice there.
Yeah, it's look at that. I haven't had a 52 Mantle with one corner like that. That's got some wear. That one's really a little bit of wear. And then nice. Yeah, pretty nice. I mean, that's the card to own, folks, the 52 Topps Mantle. We flew him in. Was it as easy as I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
This is my man Billy. He's been with us since the iPad days.
Yeah.
What's your name, buddy?
Chuck.
Chuck's his buddy. Chuck's getting into it. Got a little stock hustle in him, so he's probably going to be a card millionaire real soon, too. But if you're out there and you want to sell a high-end card, I know it's overwhelming. Sometimes you have to decide, do I want to send it to PWCC or Golden Auctions or whatever. Just remember to read the fine print. Might take you a couple months. There could be some risks involved with shipping it. Could be risks that it gets damaged or stolen. A lot of fraud. When we're talking about a little piece of cardboard worth, let's say 6 figures in some situations, why not just come see me before the store opens? I'll fly you in. I'll pay for it. I'll buy your card. You take your check or however you want to get paid. We'll pay you in pennies. If you want a wheelbarrow of pennies, we'll make it happen. But cash, check, whatever, we want the good stuff is what we're looking for. But keep in mind, you can't take the highest comp and say, hey, it's 68,000. I want 67,000. You're just wasting your time on that. I mean, we have to we're not trying to make a killing. We're just trying to make a living. But we are looking for high-end quality stuff, and we'll pay. Not one of these things that, hey, I'll pay you in a week or so. If you come, bring me the card or give me the info, I'll buy it as soon as the bank will get us the money, okay? We don't keep that kind of cash here. We have to go to the bank, and sometimes it takes a couple days. But anyway, hope y'all are having a good weekend. I'm gonna work on the store since I'm up here early. There's a show down there in Nashville. Y'all check it out. My man Jeff Roberts back in action. I don't know if they're going to go down on the way out or not, if they're going to hang out here. Either way, we appreciate you coming in, big man. Been running with us since the Ric Flair days.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate all the easy hassles. I mean, if there was no hassle, getting down here, everything was laid out, so this is awesome.
Nice. And then there was something else I was going to ask you about. How did you find us on Facebook to begin with? Do you remember?
Let's see. I know about 2016 is when I got back into the card game. I had kind of given it up for a while. And I was just kind of like looking, for different places where I could buy wax from or get into breaks. People that I trusted, though,
yeah.
That I saw other people buying into. And like I told Nate earlier, I just remember the days of the PSA 8 Fleer Michael Jordan's going for, I think you were selling them for like 1,400,
Yeah.
1,100, maybe even less.
Oh, don't remind me. My heart.
So yeah, no, pound for pound, best repack you can get. So.
Appreciate you saying that, man. We got a free commercial out of that. All right, fellas. Remember, buy the good stuff. The good stuff will last. All right, y'all have a good weekend, all right? Always be dragging. Deuces.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to Card Hacks. Kind of whispering because we're in the airport. Chuck and I got up real early this morning to do this huge deal in Nashville, Tennessee. About to get on our flight. Chuck hasn't seen this yet in person, so I figured we'll let him go ahead and see. So, just to put things in perspective, a PSA 9 of this grade just recently sold for $5.2 million. So don't want to give away what I'm selling this for, but you can expect that, you know, I'm getting a pretty penny for this. It's a little disheartening letting it go, but it's worth it. It's going to be worth it, and Chuck and I are going to have a good trip, a good story behind this too. So
See you on the flight. The victor.
Alright, so this is Card Hacks back at you. We just closed a pretty large deal. The guy was great, Nate from Grand Slam Collectibles here in Nashville. Actually just outside, about 30 minutes. Closed a big deal with them. Real great guy, you know, hooked us up. I'll have to share some of the pickups that we got. My buddy Chuck also was able to pick up a couple things. We'll share those at a later time too. Some real great stuff. He was real generous too, even hooked us up with some free things. But you can see we're here now at the Country Music Hall of Fame here in downtown Nashville. People are celebrating St. Patrick's Day a little prematurely.
Yeah.
But all in all, you know, so far it's around 10 a.m. I can't believe the deal that we just had closed. Just super excited. Just, so cool to be able to fly down here and take care of this in a day. So keep in touch. We're going to show you some of the sights and scenes of Nashville, Tennessee here.
Are we going in here? Right here?
welcome back to Card Hacks. We're here back in Nashville's International Airport, heading back to Pittsburgh. Just wanted to recap some of the things we were able to do, some of the things we were able to pick up. It was an awesome time. I know we didn't get to share too much of what we picked up, but I will do a quick recap. I'm going to start off on Chuck's end. Chuck, is it okay if I show? So Chuck picked up we're going to call it an FF Error, Billy Ripken. If you kind of zoom in, you'll notice what it says on the back barrel there. Highly inappropriate. However, this is an error card. As soon as these were discovered, they were kind of removed from the set, which makes it internally more valuable. Chuck got a great deal on this. Retail is probably around $150 to $200. I think he picked up this one for about $100. So really awesome pickup. He also was hooked up with a free Charizard, which
not what you're thinking.
not
Charizard.
that kind of Charizard, but if you take a look, one of the Vivid Voltage promotional Charizards, really
holographic.
cool.
Give it a little twist. The other way. There you go.
Is that good for you, Chuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was gifted to Chuck from Nate. at Grand Slam Collectibles. Really awesome that he hooked him up with this promo. We were able to get it sleeved and top loaded immediately.
Going into the PC.
Now, part of the deal, again, I'm not going to disclose exactly how much cash went down, but part of the deal was a little bit of trade within the shop, and I had known that Nate was pretty heavy into the Kobe Bryant autograph cards, so I kept going back and forth, and part of me just said that long term getting an on-card autograph of Kobe Bryant would probably be the best investment long term. So that's exactly what I picked up. Right, take a look right here. You'll see on-card autograph of the late Kobe Bryant.
2 out of 99.
2 out of 99.
Low number.
Low number. Actually, first number of his jersey. So picked this up. Really excited to have a Kobe Bryant autograph on card, especially. Chuck and I were talking about this. It means he actually held the card when he signed it. So I feel like to me it adds a little bit more value than a sticker autograph. And then lastly, it's not something tangible that I have, but I was gifted some additional store credit via gift card. So that gift card was sent to my email for a nice chunk of change. I've actually already spent it on something that I think will also garnish some long-term investments, some wax that I picked up. So in addition to the cash, I picked up the Kobe Bryant on-card autograph and about $500 gift card worth of gift cards. So all in all, we had a great time. I mean, it was awesome. We got to go explore the city, have some barbecue. We got to at least walk by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Good music.
We popped in a couple of different bars, and to my astonishment, each bar pretty much had live music playing, so that was really cool as well. Just a great time. So we're here at Nashville Airport, and we're going to do one more breakdown video with you a little bit later this evening, because right now it's about 2:15. Our flight doesn't leave for a little bit. We land late at night, but we're going to go over some one of the biggest pickups. We'll at least flash a little bit later this evening. So stick with us.
92657.
And here is 92659, Billy Paul. Billy Paul. Well, another big hit. How about an $1,800 Patrick Mahomes? We run shit. There's a reason. They even watching. The competitors are watching, baby. Let's go. Hope your fucking pencil's sharp. Let's go. Woo. Damn. I still know there's a huge card out there, just so you know. 4 shots in an hour. Sherry, you got to come pick me up, girl. It is what it is.
That was Billy Paul.
Billy Paul. Wow, Billy. Got another treasure hunt coming up. Not right now, man. There's one more big card for sure. I haven't seen it yet. Chuck. Well, there's 2 big cards because I'd forgot about this.
Kobe's.
3 Kobe autos. Is that what I had
3
there?
fucking Kobe autos.
Where they at? These motherfuckers, they talk all that shit, but they gone now, right, Big Gary?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah. What a card. Golly. Who was that?
That was Chuck Lopresti, 92667.
92670. Kyle, there's still one.
Yeah, so after we kind of he did his live video, we just kind of like hung out in a store, and we just kind of all talked. But Bill's doing his thing now. Bill has to go pick like he's gonna use some of that store credit now, because he wants to get. What card were you getting?
So I've got some store credit, and I really wanted to come out of there with like an on-card Kobe Bryant autograph, which when you think about it, it's not like Kobe's going to be signing anymore. He's legendary in the game. It's just really cool when it's on card also. I mean, not to be a super geek, but when you think about on card autographs, like the player's actually like holding that card and signing it. They have that in their possession, unlike a sticker autograph where they're just given a sleeve of stickers to just rapidly sign. This is like something, he's looked at, he's held, he's, held in his hand in his possession. So to me, it was just, seeing if I could use some of my store credit to be able to pick up one of those. And I went back and forth on a couple different copies. The one I really liked was had a piece of game used jersey, but it was a sticker auto. That was the kicker. And then the one that we're going to show you here in the video is actually an on card Kobe Bryant Court Kings autograph. So really lucked out with that. Now I still had some store credit left to use. So after I got the Kobe Bryant autograph, I decided just to throw the rest of it on a gift card. That's the thing. A lot of people are probably like, why would you do a gift card? Like, just get a big card, blah, blah. Well, the Grand Slam collectibles, they give you amazing deals, that a lot of people don't realize. Now they also limit how many you can buy at those deals. So if they put a box of cards that's like $200 under what, the big companies are charging, they'll limit you to the point where you can only buy one of them. You can't buy like 25. And if you try to buy more than one, they actually cancel your whole order. So that's pretty cool. So I decided to save my gift card and put it towards some type of like repack product that they do, or some type of box that I wanted that I knew that they would be selling for a lot less money. So, but Chuck, you got to tell them. So after I settled up a lot of my trade, and all the store credit on top of all the cash, you got to tell them about your experience. You actually,
So
Chuck actually almost made out better than me.
yeah. So the whole time, like Bill's talking, they're just kind of talking, and I keep going back and forth between all the stuff that he has. He had a bunch of cards like in a case, like kind of like where his like desk is, and so I kept looking at all the different ones. And one of the cards that caught my eye was it's a Billy Ripken FF error card. And basically, if you don't know the story, when they did the photo for Billy Ripken's card, on the bottom of his bat, it had 2 words on it. You can look that up. If you just look up Billy Ripken FF, you'll see what it says on the bottom of it. And Topps got us noticed that, and they were actually printed these cards, so they had to like take them down. So there's a couple out there that people were able to get. Now this one was a PSA 9. It wasn't a PSA 10, but I've been looking for this card and for like a long time. And I was like, oh, I kind of want this card. So we were actually going to leave. And then I said, you know what? Like, I was like, I need to get some, I need to come out of here with something. So I was like, hey, how much would you do on the Billy Ripken card? And he goes over to it, pulls out his phone, looks at it. And he basically said, I'll do $100 for it. And I was like, sure. So I just pulled out $100 bill, gave it to him, transaction done. And the card literally just sold for like $200. So, I mean, it was very generous of him to cut me such a great deal like that. It's a card I've wanted for my PC because like part of my like actual collection is like weird and unusual cards like that. Like Bob Hamlin, I'm trying to get right now. It's one of the worst baseball cards ever created. Trying to get like stuff like that for my collection, but it's just nice that he's able to cut deals when with how crazy the market is with cards right now.
Yeah, no, and I gotta, before you talk about your other pickup, that this ended up just being a free one. I can't even get over this. I thought maybe you'd throw one of these my way, but I guess he did give me a bag full of cash. But so one thing that I wanted to bring up that I was just kind of in awe about was, Nate came out, after we had been talking for a while. So I think at that point we all had a pretty good rapport with one another. And he brought this box of cards. He wanted me to look through and see if there was a Kobe auto that I liked out of that. And I started looking through the box of cards, and I told Chuck, I go, look at some of these cards, dude. One of the cards,
this was wild.
One of the cards was a LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Julius Erving, all on one card, autograph, on card, all 4 signatures on card. So all 4 of those guys had to hold that card and sign it, which you don't find. So that card itself was probably about $250,000, maybe even more. He had a Logo Man patch, which the NBA logo man that are on all of the NBA jerseys. He had a game worn Logo Man patch of Kobe Bryant. That's probably a $300,000 card. He had, Mike Trout, Bowman rookie auto. He had a Mike Trout Bowman rookie autograph in there. That's probably about a $60,000-$70,000 card. He had a bunch of LeBron James and Michael Jordan, both like on card autograph cards. He had a Peyton Manning Bowman Chrome refractor, like PSA 10 or something. Rookie. That's probably about a $30,000 card. So I was telling Chuck, those are just maybe like 10 of his cards that that were in the box. There was way more, and that box alone that he just left out for us to kind of go through and search through was probably worth about $2 million.
It's wild. It's just like, it's like sitting right in front of you.
Yeah, it just puts things in perspective because, I'm there with a card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars, and he pulls out this shoebox filled with cards that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it just really was like, wow, like it's kind of like, it makes you like lose your breath and you're kind of taken back at first. But, right before we left, we had talked a little bit about the Pokemon world and all that, how Chuck and I are doing our podcast, and we ripped open some Pokemon cards chasing Charizard. And I told Nate directly that, that's definitely more of Chuck's realm of collector expertise and things of that nature. So Chuck and him got going back and forth on Charizard, and I'll let you explain your pickup there.
Yeah, I was just basically him and I were just kind of going back and forth on like how like with Pokemon, it's like with baseball, there's a good chance that you can, if you invest in a card, you might be able to grow it and make some money off of that card, or if you get a player, hold on to it for a while. With Pokemon though, it's really not like that. A lot of the rare cards with Pokemon like only sell like the day it comes, like if you would get the card the day like the set is new, like for example Shining Fates, the one thing that I got, I pulled a card the same rarity as the Zard from that set. My card only sells for like $13-$14, and I haven't checked it since. But I was like, it just kind of like, it really kind of like shows you like how like with Pokemon, that's what we're talking about, how like there's always just one card that everybody wants, and it sometimes it happens to be a Charizard. Most recently, I think in the newest pack, it was like a Tyranitar in the Battle Styles pack that just came out, which I tried to find, but of course there's nothing out there. I was telling him I just kind of have like a small little Charizard collection going. I have 2 OG Charizards and things like that. And then he goes, hold on. And he runs in the back, and he has a promo like set or like a pack of which you would get if you would open up a like a pre-release box, which if you play Pokemon, when the new sets come out, card shops will have like a pre-release, and you get like you would get like a deck of cards in it, and it usually comes with like a promo card, and you would get a couple packs, and you have to build a deck and then try to win a bunch of matches, and you would win like packs for like the new set coming out. But the one he gave me the promo, and it was the Charizard promo card. and he literally just said, you can have it. And I was like taken back from it. I was like, no, I can't. I can't just like take something. That's just not who I am. But he really insisted, and he threw me a nice little bone right there. I mean, that Charizard when I last saw was going for like, I want to say like $100 maybe.
Yeah. No, that was pretty cool. But that kind of like shows you too. I don't think Chuck had viewed any of like, Grand Slam or the Nate Burns, YouTube videos or things like that. But that's also what kind of drew me to selling him my mantle as well, because, I watch what he does for a lot of people. He's raised over $110,000 for St. Jude.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah. And you see a lot of, what he does. He picks up boxes and he says, highest bidder gets this, all the proceeds are going to St. Jude. And he literally, so that there's no skeptics, he literally shows you his computer while he's signing into it, types in the amount, clicks purchase for the donation, prints out the copy and shows everyone on the video in the same breath, so that there's no people out there thinking, he's lying about this. So just a real cool guy. I watched his videos at some of the national card shows, which this year's in Chicago. Hopefully it goes down. And, he'll walk around with a $1,000 stack, and he'll hand out $100 bills to like little kids that are just looking at cards, and, walking around with maybe a parent who maybe can't afford to buy something, that expensive for their child, which that's kind of the downside with the hobby. Is, there are options for kids. They're not necessarily the coolest options, which I think back and, it was kind of the same playground for me in card collecting. I collected the cheap tops that I could get my hands on. I wasn't buying the, exquisite stuff, things like that. But nonetheless, it is kind of, it does kind of stink because, some of these kids are seeing, packs of cards with like, autographs of their favorite players that, are going to be more likely in those packs than the ones that they can afford. And, so when he hands them $100 bill, that probably makes a big difference. So I've just seen him do a lot of stuff like that. So I think that was probably too, not that, you should ever settle or sell for something for way less than what it's worth. But when you knew it was going to him, someone who does good for others, it kind of made it a little bit of an easier transaction to swallow. And the fact that he like hooked Chuck up with some stuff too, I think that just told a lot about his character and everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely left a good review for him, 5 stars.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. You walked out of there with like $200 worth of free stuff.
I know.
No,
well,
so,
I just saw the Zard, the PSA. If I got a PSA 10 of that Charizard, it just sold for $450.
Wow. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
so just to kind of like wrap everything up real quick, we didn't spend, I'd say we spent maybe, what would you say, like 35, 40 minutes in his shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't stay too long because I know it sounds bad, but, I didn't really go there to like just hang out in his shop. I mean, we could have easily for hours, and he had, I liked the way his cases were set up too. I don't know if you noticed it, but the cases closest to the window were kind of like cards that cost like $50, $25 to $100. And then as the cases got farther back, it was like more expensive stuff.
Right.
So he really set it up for like people to like price point like the cards that they wanted, which I thought was kind of cool. But we could have spent all day, and then we were just, talking back and forth. He's throwing the question at us, if you had $1 million to spend on a card right now, what would you take? We had a good time kind of just in our discussions, but I really wanted to be able to experience Nashville just a little bit, so Chuck and I hopped in our Uber, we bounced, and we headed downtown Nashville, where we wanted to get some good food and have a couple celebratory drinks and just kind of experience the atmosphere, which was wild to me. So you had the NCAA basketball tournament going on there. I had never been to Nashville before, and I didn't realize, how wild it gets so early, to the point where you're seeing party buses towed by tractors driving down Main Street.
Oh, it's another world down there.
Yeah. It was wild when Chuck and I first got down there. We got down there around 10 a.m. and I told him, I was like, man, I don't know if many restaurants or bars will be open. No, I was wrong. They were all open. There was already live bands playing in every bar and restaurant up and down the main street. And we popped in one that was kind of low key, and they had a nice live band playing. We got a good meal.
I still drool over that chicken sandwich.
Oh, for sure. No, it was great. I even got to hit up a little bit barbecue later on. But what the downside is, we kept bouncing around to a couple different bars, and slowly but surely the streets were getting packed. It was kind of the leading up to St. Patrick's Day. So it was just getting real wild in the streets. And I just got to a point where we could have probably hung out there maybe an hour longer, but I started getting a little bit more anxious because we have backpacks full of cash.
Yeah, it was
that.
We just wanted to get in and out, basically.
Yeah, you just didn't know. Anything could have happened there, and we just wanted to make sure we didn't miss our flights or anything like that. But we headed back to the airport, and this is kind of like the part 2 of the tale, because the second part is, are we going to get stopped by TSA with all this cash in our bags? And what will our response be? We had some good, not necessarily alibis, but we had good reason to say we bought a card or things like that, because there actually was a card show going on in Nashville that same day. So we ended up actually getting through security and everything real easily with the cash. It wasn't a big deal. I think having it divvied up definitely helped.
Yeah, and then with COVID, they're really just trying to get people through.
Exactly. So
I mean, it was the quickest. I know there weren't a lot of people in the airport, but it was the quickest I've ever been through security before.
Yep, you're right.
I didn't have to take my cameras out and stuff. I just had to take my iPad.
Right. So other than that, we had to take a little pit stop detour in Baltimore before we came home, but
I would say it was definitely the longest part of the journey was the coming home.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But everything else went out smooth sailing.
Yeah, because we actually flew from Nashville to Baltimore, which I didn't realize. We flew an extra 35-minute flight out of the way of Pittsburgh before we could come back. But it was a real cool day trip. But I appreciate Chuck coming with me. That's why I was kind of glad you were able to get a few pickups yourself there. It ended up being a great time, and my wife's definitely happy, especially when I went to go deposit all that in the bank. Definitely juiced the account a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, just make sure you guys check out, rest of our vlog, and we have some more podcasts coming at you. We're going to try to pick up the pace on these a little bit more, so show you more of a few of our recent pickups. Chuck and I have also been talking about sending a few things in for grading. We're even thinking about maybe forking over a little bit of extra change to attempt to get cards back from PSA even faster. I'm even kind of interested in, Chuck, we were talking to Nate about this a little bit. Nate was not on board with this idea, but Chuck and I were talking about maybe even taking some of our lower end Topps cards that we would like to have just slabbed and checking out that HGA slabbing service and see what they're all about.
Yeah, basically, if you don't know what HGA is, it's another grading service, but it's very customizable when it comes to the label. Some people, they have a normal label, but there's different designs that you can get, and you can really match it towards whatever the card is. I've seen some really good ones, especially with some Kobe Bryant ones, but it's just when there's another grading service people get weary because, you know, you don't want, if you're like if your collection or like your stock is solely PSA or Beckett, you know, you don't want to see something like overtake that, you know.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, other than that, that's all I got, Chuck.
Yeah. Do we want to save the break?
Oh no, we don't want to save the break. Sorry about that, folks.
No.
Yeah, give them part two. I forgot the trip is like continued like 2 days after we get back.
Yeah, so we get back and we're just kind of getting over the trip and everything, and then Bill texts me about this. The Grand Slam Collectibles is doing this it's called Black Magic High Roller Edition break, and it's $600 for a slot, and Bill's like telling me that, you know, you got to get on this. You usually either can make half your money back or at least more, that you can make all your money. You can just make your money back, or you can even make your money back plus some more. And I was like, it was like $600. This is wild. And so Bill got one in and they were selling out quick. I mean, it usually sells out. And so we both got in on it. And, the best part about this is he's going to do this break live. Now, you typically, from what I've gathered, he usually packs. These packs are all random. You don't know what you're going to get. It's usually like 3. It's usually like 1. It could be anywhere from like 4 to 1 card. Typically, you want to try to get like the solo card because that means like you got a big hit.
Yep.
And so, you know, Bill and we looked at our order number and they were pretty much very close to each other.
Back to back.
Yeah, it was back to back. And so we're waiting. Bill got his first and then it came to mine. So we're like, the thing is, I think he had like, we're seeing like all these Kobe Bryant cards coming out of this. And it's like, oh my gosh, like you could, one guy won a $1,500 gift card to the store.
Peyton Manning. The Peyton Manning I thought was really cool. It was the logo shield, the NFL logo shield from the jerseys. It was a game used Colts Peyton Manning NFL logo shield card. I thought that was real sick.
There was don't forget there was Yogi Berra cards.
Yeah, so it was like a running joke. It reminded me of our Goon Squad cards with our big Pokemon break early on a couple months back. But we were watching all these. So to put things in a little bit more perspective, so he made 60 of these packs, right? I believe it was 60. So he made 60 of the high roller Black Magic packs. They sold out the first like handful of them. Actually, the first like 30 of them sold out within 5 minutes. And then he kept posting 15 at a time. And then so the very last 15 that he posted, I texted Chuck. I was like, hey, I have some gift card funds. So I'm probably going to pick up a spot. You know, I didn't want to put pressure on Chuck to like, you know, because it's pretty expensive to just roll the dice with. But I did tell Chuck, you know, you don't get shut out. You know, you could spend that kind of money on a box of cards and walk home with nothing. And Nate always makes sure that, you know, at bare minimum, you're going to get about half to 75% of your money back, value back in cards. And then you always have those long shots of hitting like something a little bit more even with what you spent, or maybe like Chuck said, maybe $1,000 more, or even to a point where it's a couple $1,000s more.
Mm-hmm.
So he had 10, you know, it was called high roller for a reason. He had 10 high roller packs. So there were 10 packs that had cards or gift cards that were valued of $1,000 or more. So keep in mind, you know, hopefully you're able to watch this. We're going to run this, right, Chuck?
Yeah, I'm going to put the video up.
Oh, awesome. So, you know, you'll see in the video firsthand, but keep in mind, like Chuck and I are watching all of these sick cards get pulled. Kobe Bryant's, you know, just phenomenal cards like Fernando Tatis, Superfractor, rookie cards. There was Luka Doncic rookie autograph on card, like numbered out of like 25. You know, I think that card had a price sticker of what, $3,200 on it, something like that.
Like that, yeah.
So there was some wild stuff getting pulled, and I just kept thinking, I'm like, man, there's really only like 10 super high end cards and things that he puts in the packs. The rest of them, you know, you could still get your money back and everything like that. It was just you might get like multiple cards, like Chuck was saying. So Chuck, I'm gonna let you take it over from the video.
Okay, so like we're getting like the thing is like we're seeing like all the like it was like right from the start. We're seeing like a Kobe get pulled. We're seeing like the Peyton Manning, the $1,500 gift card. So we're getting kind of nervous, you know. And sometimes like he wouldn't even say the person's name, or like we missed it, or it was just like super quick. And then he said, and we hear him, and then all of a sudden he just says Billy next coming up, and I was like, so we was like, oh my god, this is, and he said Bill's number, and I was like, so it's like, you know, you'll see it in the video. I wish we filmed our reactions, but like,
I know.
So first up is Bill. He opens up Bill's pack, and it would do you want to tell him what it was?
Yeah, so it was a 2017 or 2018. Let me see if I can fact check myself just very quickly. It was a 2017.
It was a 2017.
2017?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a 2017 Donruss Optic, which optic cards are really like sought after for football rookie players for their rookie year. So you have Donruss, which is like the base cheap set, and those still go for a good bit, but the optic ones are like they're not super rare, but they're harder to pull. I mean, that kind of contradicts itself, but to get them in high grade is very hard because the card, it has a foil covering. It's not made out of like Topps Chrome is made out of an even thicker stock than the optic. The optic's definitely thinner, but it has a foil top. So it could get scratched real easily, dented, bent, all of this stuff. So he pulls out a Patrick Mahomes 2017 Donruss rookie optic.
Wow.
This is the best part. PSA 10. So at the time that we looked it up on that date, one had just sold for a little over $1,800. Well, since then, the most recent one sold for $2,020. And I think it's probably just going to keep getting revved up because the closer we get to football season, training camp, and buzzworthy news about Patrick Mahomes, you know, who's kind of like the newer face of the NFL, you know, it's just wild. Like I freaked out. I was like all over Chuck. Like we were smacking hands, screaming, stomping around, you know, just super thrilled. And
it was awesome. I was afraid he was like one of us was going to get Yogi Berra.
Yeah, there were so many Yogi autographs.
He definitely had a lot. I definitely like think he had a lot of Yogis. He was just like, no one's going to buy these, so I need to get rid of them somehow.
Yeah, at one point I was like, man, is Yogi in his garage like signing these things still? Or how is this happening? So literally right after my pack, and Nate's even freaking out on the video, which you're all going to get to watch.
Yeah.
Chuck's
but then like he's like as we're freaking out, like he just goes right into like the next pack, and he like it was like, and all of a sudden he just pulls out a Kobe Bryant 2000. Why did I forget the year? It's a 2012 2013 Innovation Inc. Kobe Bryant on card auto. It's not graded. It's just the card itself raw. But I was like, who's it going to? And then he said my name, and now I started freaking out because I just got a Kobe Bryant card signed by him on card. So this is a big hit for me. Probably one of my biggest hits actually ever.
Oh yeah, that was a sick card because It was not only like on card, but it's like a silver auto, so it's not like just ballpoint pen or anything like that. And it's really nicely done. Like it wasn't chipped or anything like that. And then so Chuck and I again raced to like eBay. We're like freezing the screen trying to have Chuck's wife figure out like what is it saying. We were like trying to be detectives on like handwriting. And
but it's I just looked it up. So it actually the card just sold raw for $2,000.
Yeah, but the thing that's interesting with Chuck's card, specifically with the Kobe Bryant, is getting it graded like drastically, almost regardless of the grade. Getting it graded, his Kobe Bryant that he got and received, getting it graded raises the value of that card like almost immediately and drastically. So we're talking, at bare minimum, like if it just grades out like an 8 or like a low 9 BGS, I'm talking BGS, he's talking like $2,500 to $2,600. Now, if that thing comes back like a 9 in PSA or gets a Beckett 10, I mean, he's talking like $5,000 to $10,000. So it's just wild. Like he's definitely got a card that, even if he ends up shelling out like $200-$300 for grading so that he can get the card back quickly, it's worth it because, as soon as that thing gets slabbed and like a prestigious holder like BGS or PSA, he's immediately added value to the card.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be sent out. I just got to start prepping it for it, and Bill's going to help me with that.
Yeah, that will be a good episode. I think we'll dive into maybe sending some. I got some like Bo Bichette things and newer rookie guys that I want to go with HGA, and then we'll send like our premium, because I actually have a Kobe Bryant on card auto myself that I also want to get graded. So yeah, it was a real nice culminating thing to happen. It was almost too what's the word I'm looking for?
Too perfect,
coincidental that not only did we, 4 days prior, were we in Nate's shop speaking with him, that
we get these huge polls from him.
We get these like $5,000 total like polls. Just wild. It was just awesome. So
yeah, it was all random though. So
it was, and the perfect thing about it too was I kind of left the shop. I obviously still missed the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle that I had, but the story behind it, getting that much cash for a card, like tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's not, I don't want to say life changing, but it definitely makes things easier. When you're trying to like move or upgrade like a situation or something that you're in. And, I did leave there a little bit, and I remember talking to Chuck feeling like, man, like I should have asked for a little bit more in trade, or I should have, maybe I could have done this, that, or the other. But, in the long run, I was like, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. And then this was kind of like the icing on the cake, because, after hitting that, $2,000 Patrick Mahomes, I felt like, there's my extra money that I wanted on top of everything else. So, but no, it was a great time. But I definitely encourage anyone, if you're trying to get into buying like a box here or there, or getting some hobby packs, like hobby packs are really the way to go. I know a lot of people chase after like retail and everything to rip and open, and I'll find retail and I'll sell it. But really the premium cards that you're going to hit, like the nice autographs, the big names, the big players, are going to come from hobby packs. But Grand Slam Collectibles, and they're not sponsoring our video here, but they really offer you, they have package deals where they give you like $150 worth of hobby packs for like $99. And around the holidays, they always hook people up. I bought a hobby box of Diamond Kings for like $49. They still sell for over $100. and it's like immediately as soon as I would get boxes from them around the holidays to open up, those boxes were worth way more than what he charges. So just a guy that does it right. So if you're looking to kind of get into the hobby or find packs of cards, definitely check him out.
Yeah, I can't say anything more positive about him. Great guy, was fun to be with, lots of energy.
Oh yeah, wild. I mean, what's almost funny is I told Chuck that he's a character on his shows. Man, he's a character. In person, I'd say he was a little bit more chill, but he started after he got to know us. He started to have a lot more spunk in his talk.
Yeah.
But so I think this is a good place to leave everything.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. And I can't wait to see where the PSA grade submissions go when we get that episode going. It's going to lead to my Clemente rookie card.
Yep. And Chuck and I are, I'm looking at some of the other cards that I have in the safe because, believe it or not, this wasn't my only card, my only high-end card. So, probably might have to make this like a yearly, even though I don't want to get rid of my card, all my nice cards right now, but might have to make this into a yearly trip to go somewhere, to sell these cards off.
Yeah, hopefully somewhere more tropical.
Yeah. Although Nashville was an experience because I don't think neither myself or Chuck are like uber into country music, and that's literally
you better love country if you're going to Nashville.
Exactly, the sights and scenes and sounds, that's all you got there. So all right, well, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Glad we could kind of tell our tale. I'm excited to share this with everyone too, because I know they've been wanting to hear stuff, but I've been holding it close to my chest because I want them to listen.
Yep. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you in the next Card Hacks episode. Make sure you follow us on the Instagram. Follow us here on Podbean. Make sure you also check the YouTube because remember, this episode was on YouTube if you're just listening to this, so you can see some of the visuals that we've been talking about, or as you probably heard through the audio version of this. So make sure you check that out. It's again, everything is Card Hacks. And we'll see you in the next time. I'm Chuck.
I'm Bill.
And we'll see you in the next one. See ya.
All right, later.